markets?
Okay, well, that's the lineup. How should you position yourself in the last hour of trade? And we have Jay Bala joining us to answer that question. It's an important day, so we've invited Jay to give us that view. Jay, you've got the correction all right, almost to the T. How are things looking? And it's an interesting kind of sort of macro market day today as well, with the pause from the RBI. Yields are moving, markets are a bit indecisive. What's the call?
Yeah, from actually short-term perspective, Prashant, the low of today is going to be extremely critical. That's 17,502. If the markets hold above 17,502, this corrective bounce that started from 16,822 can stretch a little bit towards 17,800. But the intraday fall from today's high has signs of exhaustion. If the markets were to make one more intraday low below the low that's just been registered, that itself will make the bull case nervous. But as long as 17,500 is intact, this rally can stretch. But if 17,500 breaks, assume that the corrective rally is done, and also keep an eye on Nasdaq futures. If 12,600 goes when the Indian markets are closed, it's all over for the corrective bounce. And we're going to see a lot of downsides come through.
A lot of downsides come through. By the way, since we have you, Jay, how is globally as well? We've seen a massive slide in yields, etc. Right? The 2-year, the 10-year, but equities are also have started to come off a little bit in the US.
Right. See, the markets have been spooked by the recent events that's happening across the world for banks. So it's just kind of an oops kind of scenario where we need to hide for cover and go for safety. So that's the reason why the bond prices have rallied and yields have come down. And yields are pretty close to the 10-year US 10-year I'm talking about is somewhere near 3.04. That's the kind of 3.04, I've been mentioning 300 bips as the very strong support, and we're going to see market probably rally towards those levels and then take a turn for the reversal. But because the Fed is caught between rock and hard place, it can't tighten, it can't loosen. So it has to. If it doesn't tighten, complete loss of credibility. So it's in such a precarious situation. But when it comes to the equity markets in the world, now I've been saying that only the Nasdaq hasn't broken down. Every other index has broken down. So that's the reason why I'm saying watch 12,600 on the Nasdaq futures. If it trades below that level on the Chicago pitch session, not the Globex session, the corrective bounce is over, and we're going to see much bigger downsides come through.
All right. Hi, Jay. Good afternoon. Jay, what about the dollar index? What's the view out there? It's cooled down to a sub 102 odd. It went to around 101.5, but it's back around that 102. Where do you see this one headed?
Yeah, the dollar index is either going to break below the 100 mark very briefly and then recover, or it's already bottomed at yesterday's low and rallying. But there's a slight change in the short-term structure. I don't think the record high above 114 is coming, but it could rally very strongly somewhere close to 110 and 111 with or without a break below 100. So the extreme short term, let's say from a 1 to 3 days perspective, it may or may not break 100.8 that it registered recently. But from a few weeks to a month perspective, we're going to see the dollar strengthen somewhere close to 110.
All right, Jay, finally, before we let you go, a quick update on the individual stocks that you have on your list.
Yeah. Say from a very short-term perspective, I'm slightly negative on L&T Mindtree, LTI Mindtree, and Axis Bank. LTI Mindtree, can be played as a BTST, or BT or STBT, sell today and buy back on Friday. Something like a stop above 48.48 and price objective close to 4,600. And Axis Bank, it's slightly negative. We're going to see a drop. I don't think it'll go above 870. it's likely to drop somewhere close to 830. So both are extreme short-term BTS to play, but a half hesitant long play on Cholamandalam Finance. It's a record 52-week high breakout. So a stop under 840, 540, and a projection possibly close to 600.
All right, Jay, thanks very much. Good getting those trades, 2 sells and 1 buy. These are very near-term trades that we are getting from Jay Bala. Jay, good to have you with us here, and speak to you soon again. Have a good and restful weekend coming up.